Okay, for our first video, we're going to be talking about the Photoshop interface in the workspace. Now, when you first open up Photoshop, this is what you're going to see. If you don't see this beautiful gray background, then you probably see your desktop, and that means you're working on a Mac. Well, I'm on a PC, so I see the beautiful gray background. At the top, we have a bunch of menus to go through, just like many programs you've seen before. We'll go through most of these options later on and in a little bit more detail. Below that, we have the Options toolbar. Now, the Options toolbar reflects all the options related to whatever specific tool you have selected. Like right now, I have the Type tool selected, and so it's giving me the Type tool options. Now, if I were to click on the Move tool, I would get Move tool options. Pretty self-explanatory. Also, what is self-explanatory is the Tools toolbar. This is the Tools toolbar. You can drag it off of here and make it free-floating if you wish. It basically contains all the regular tools we'll be using to manipulate photos. I'll be going over most of them, but not all of them, because some of them are a little bit more advanced than others. If you want to make this a double column toolbar, you just click the little arrows here. And if you want to get rid of it altogether, which I never recommend, you click the small X. Now I've got it undocked, and if I want to redock it, all I have to do is click this arrow to get it back to a single column. You can dock it with double columns, but I don't recommend it because it takes up more room on your screen. So I always kind of leave it with the single column. Okay, moving on over here, we have the panels. Panels, we'll get over those. We'll go over those quite a bit as we move along, but all you really need to know right now is how to customize them. And you could spend all day in Photoshop customizing it to the hilt and your every fine-tune, every fine-tune adjustment you can think of. And what I mean by that is each one of these tabs I can tear off. I can just tear it off and make its own separate window. And just like the Tools toolbar, we can minimize it like that, and that will create a button, and we can click it and it will bring up that panel, and we can click it to close it. Or we can minimize it further and make it a smaller button, which will also do the same thing. Now you can take this button and dock it elsewhere. Also, you can take tabs like this and also dock them in here just like that. It's all very customizable, as you can see. Like I said, you can go crazy with it if you want. You can just keep on going. Now let's say, for example, after I get this back in here where it belongs. Alright. Let's say, for example, we pull out the color one again and I close it with the X button. Now how do I get that back? That's very easy. All you have to do is go to Window, and this displays a list of all the palettes or panels that you have available for your disposal. When you see the key binding next to them, what these generally mean is they're the most used panels that we have in Photoshop, and so they try to make them easily accessible by putting, a keybind like F6 after color. So we got rid of color. I could click color and bring it back, or I can close it and hit F6 like this and bring it right back again. Okay, so let's just dock that right back up here, and now let's talk about the workspaces themselves. So what you see in front of you is the workspace. Now these buttons up here, when I click on them, you'll see that all my panels are changing. My panels are changing based off of how do you want to work? Do you want to work in design mode? Would this work better for a designer? Or do you want to be, are you more kind of a painter and you have the brush presets and things like that, geared more toward what painters would generally use? Now I've been using the Essentials, which is the default since I've been working with Photoshop, so I don't really deviate far from that. But if you would like to, you can choose any one that you wish and go from there. Also, if you don't like any of them and you want to kind of create your own, let's see. We'll pull up the history one and we'll tear this tab off. We'll pull the color one out over here. Oh, what else can we do? We'll go in here and pull out. We'll pull out the character one. We'll just drag it off too, and we'll expand it and expand it. So, say this is how I like to work. Don't ask me why. No rhyme or reason. This is how I like to work, and that's the way it's going to be. If I want to save this for future projects, all I have to do is click on this arrow, and go to New Workspace, or I can click on Window, Workspace, New Workspace. That'll bring up a dialog box where you can give it a name. I'll give this a great name of Josh's Mess, and then we'll save that. And so now that becomes kind of your default workspace, and you get your own special button up here. You can rearrange these buttons to however you wish. It will also show up in the Workspaces tab as Josh's Mess. And if I want to delete this, not hard, all I have to do is go to Delete Workspace. Well, when I go to actually click on Josh's Mess, I can't because it's already active. So what I have to do is cancel that, go back in, choose a different workspace, and then I can go into Delete Workspace and delete Josh's Mess, and there it goes. Now you see that the workspace I have created from the Essentials is not what Essentials normally started out as. And to easily get back to that, all we have to do is go to Window, Workspace, Reset Essentials. Now this will kick it right back to the default, how you just started. This is the same with any other one. If I pull this out and then do the same with that, Reset Design, it goes right back to the way it was. Now that's pretty simple and that's pretty easy, and I think that gives a great overview of the interface and Workspaces. One more last tip before we go. If you feel like you're cramped or you're claustrophobic in any kind of way, all you have to do to get rid of all this is hit the tab button, and it all goes away, and that'll give you a good preview of what you're working on, and it'll also give you more freedom and room to keep on working. And to get it all back, you do the exact same thing you did to get rid of it. You just click on, you press tab, and it all comes back. Okay, well I think that's a great start for the series, and we'll move on to the next video.